Happy Friday, beautiful people. Happy Friday. Hold on, let me turn on the side light. Y'all probably can't tell. I can tell a little bit. But anyway, happy Friday, beautiful people. It is a very special day today. Today is my wonderful husband's birthday today. So if you come down here, we're going to sing happy birthday to him. All right. He might not come down the stairs. We'll see. All right, y'all. It is June the 16th, 2023, day 58 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. And of the 5-year consecutive day count, it is day 1437. And today, y'all, we picking up in the Holy GodSpell. We still in chapter 3, and we're going to pick up at verse 225 on page 349. And then we're just going to read till we run out of time today. So we're going to finish this, and we'll probably get to start chapter 4. All right, y'all. So with that being said, Father, we thank you that you convert the soul from darkness into light. All right, beautiful people. Who we got here via greetings, sis Tabitha? Shalom, shalom. Shalom to our sister Pammy and the Eeyore family. Love and light. Dawn, what's good, sis? Love and light on this beautiful day. Yes, Tone, the lowly one. Shalom, shalom. Love and light to you as well. Peace, love, and light. I'm sorry. Deshaun, hey, girl. Hey. Shogun, Dawn, Trill. Grand Rising fam. Elijah, peace and light, sons and daughters of the Creator, Eoa. Our girl, shalom. Jamia, hey girl, hey. Mom, shalom. Just me, Creator, bless you all, and you too as well. And everybody else here hanging out in the background. Happy Friday. All right, y'all, let's get into it. Okay, so yesterday, let's see, do I want to go back? Let's go back. We at 225, but let's go back, I think, to 2. Since the pattern has established, revealed. Verse 201 on page 348. Okay, let me get my water first. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I forget. Okay. All right, y'all. Verse 201 on page 348. Behold, at the start of each millennium, Behold, at the start of each millennium, the Yair will raise up a circle of light, a small revealed church. And from that holy remnant, the warrior Yair will select and train a cadre of lions. And within the order of lions shall be an order called the Apostles of the Holy Megillah. And these apostles will take the Holy Megillah from town to town, sounding the Korah HaKadosh, the holy call. And they will travel from town to town, living on the offerings of those who receive them, for such is the way of the apostle. And when they sound the Korah, the apostles shall wear their rastas, which are the holy robes made of hemp. For lo, the rasta is worn during high rituals, and the sounding of the Korah is a high ritual indeed. And when the apostles sound the Korah in each town, their heads shall be dressed in white wraps, for the prayer shawls, like the rastas, are worn at high rituals. And this is not to say that the Nazarenes may not wear the rasta and prayer shawl at other times, but that at high rituals, this garb is specified. Even so, it is better to attend a high ritual naked or in rags than not at all. Also, the order of apostles shall neither cut their hair nor shave while on this mission, as signs of special consecration to the mission. Other Nazarenes may do likewise, but for the apostles, it is a discipline. Behold, these apostles must be willing to suffer imprisonment. Behold, these apostles must be willing to suffer imprisonment and even death for the Lord and Lady, and of course, much mockery. Lo, know this, if the world persecutes the Lord and Lady, it will persecute their apostles. But the apostles of the Holy Scroll will have their just reward. For at the time of death, whether by natural causes in old age or from violence in youth, each apostle will be received into the arms of our Lord Christ and Lady Christ. Yea, even before departing the body, they shall live in the presence of the Lord and Lady in the kingdom of heaven within. And everyone who gives assistance to the mirror and his apostles in their holy quest to disseminate the Megillah will receive the blessings of the Lord and Lady, both in this life and the life to come. So yesterday, remember, the mirror is the Yair, the high priest, and we found that on page 347. Might as well just read that whole page as it goes into detail about the mirror and the Yair being the mirror, right? So while he's on his holy, he or she is on their holy mission, if anything evil comes up against them, they would be like a mirror, reflecting that evil off of them back to where it was sent, sending it back to where it was sent from. Verse 220. Yea, if the Holy Megillah is embraced by the world in any millennium, the next millennium will be the long-awaited age of peace. And the blessings that will follow that age of peace cannot be described in the human tongue. For humans will become baby cherubim serving as angels of Elohim. But if the worldly powers suppress and hinder the dissemination of the Holy Megillah in any millennium, let the revealed church provide what teachings it can for the general uplift of humanity and meet in secret. Rest assured that the original scrolls are preserved by the guardians of the hidden arm and will be preserved from age to age. And that's what we paused at yesterday. All right, page 349, verse 225. Also know this, Lord and Lady are coming to this world, and you, O Yaakadzea, will help prepare their way. And when they come wearing the names of salvation, and watchtower, the words they speak will be written down and become part of the Holy Megillah. Yea, when they come into the world will receive the most special dispensation. For behold, they are the living word and living breath of Jah. Yea, they are themselves the most holy scriptures ever written. For lo, they were written by Jah. Not on parchment were they written, but on the fabric of being. Verse 232, page 349. Yea, their New Testament will be of utmost importance, for it will be the words of their speaking, and their words are life. And though their full gospel may be long suppressed by the merchants of death, the holy GodSpell will in time be resurrected. For behold, their full gospel shall be proclaimed on the streets in the last days, even if all previous ages are ignorant of their GodSpell. But before they come in the last days for the great harvest, which is their second coming in flesh, they come for another purpose. Yea, the purpose of their first coming was declared by the prophet Malachi in the Holy Megillah. And it is for this, their first coming, that you will help prepare the way. The coming of our Lord and Lady in human garb is a great mystery. Even I, their messenger, only understand in part. Behold, I know that the Lady must incarnate through a human womb, that she may purify the subtle realm wherein souls await their next incarnation. I'm gonna keep reading, y'all. Hold on. Before I'm making the comments, let me read it again. Verse 240. Behold, I know that the Lady must incarnate through a human womb, that she may purify the subtle realm wherein souls await their next incarnation. For demonic parasites have infested that realm. And I know that the Lord must incarnate through a human womb so that he may die as a human in order to enter and purify the subtle realm where souls go first. Well, hold on. I'm gonna keep reading, y'all. It's triggering me for a minute. Hold on. And I know that the Lord must incarnate through a human womb so that he may die. Okay. And I know that the Lord must incarnate through a human womb so that he may die as a human in order to enter and purify the subtle realm where souls first go at the end of incarnation. For demonic parasites have also infested that realm. And I know that the Lord and Lady come to teach the way to transcend the will of required reincarnation. What? Let me keep reading, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Let me just keep going. Let me keep going. For lo, many souls in this world have tumbled down the ladder of transmigration into lower worlds, even losing all memory of their previous existence. Yea, many will fall into the deep sleep by playing the dangerous game of required transmigration. Yea, many will fall into the deep sleep by playing the dangerous game of required transmigration. Wherefore, the Lord and Lady will come to offer the path of resurrection and ascension in place of required reincarnation. Wherefore, the Lord and Lady will come to offer the path of resurrection and ascension in place of required reincarnation. But only those who believe and obey are capable of accepting this offer. For behold, the way of transmigration of souls has dominion in this world. For the world has slipped into darkness, and only by grasping the saving hand can any from this world find salvation. For all who die in this world will be unable to escape required transmigration unless their souls are attuned to the Lord and Lady. And that attunement is first received by baptism in the Lord and Lady. Then it must be sustained by practicing their saving way as devoted disciples. Yea, and their saving way will be taught in sessions of omna or instruction by their true priesthood of apostolic succession, which is the Nazarene priesthood of the Essene way. And though anyone can use the word Essene, for it means healers, and many will claim that name, there is but one empowered line of Nazarene apostolic succession, and that line will offer the true baptism to true believers in secret, even when the world sees no Nazarene church, and many souls will be saved from the deep sleep. At times while reading through here, listen. Right, look. So, Tiffany, hey, cousin. Audrey, shalom. Dreadful Cosmon, Creative Gang, Drace and Righteous, shalom. Nazarene is seen. You didn't get a notification? They be doing that sometime. Kings and Queens Coaching Group, shalom. Yahweh, shalom. Listen. So sometimes while reading through here, that's why I be getting triggered, because all that I've learned about reincarnation, right? So that's why I'm like, let me keep reading, y'all. But I'm starting to wonder now, if I know everything has been tainted, but I'm wondering those who are helping the current Yair translate the scrolls, if they still have this what's the word? For lack of a better words, if they still have if they're still influenced by the reincarnation cycle, like as it's taught currently to most people, if they're still kind of influenced by that, I don't know. I'm still thinking I'm not understanding everything, but my mind is still trying to get wrapped all the way around the reincarnation thing. Hold on. Jamia said, reincarnation isn't off the table for me, but required reincarnation free will. Could it Could it be only the high rays that can reincarnate? See, now, okay. I guess, okay, so there is, okay, so like how I understand it, right? Kind of talking about what just me said, could it be only the high rays that can reincarnate? So me, now when I think about reincarnation, right? So you have to be born at least once into this world, or whatever world you're born into. And I think as you grow and develop throughout the different phases of life, I think once you're born fully spirit, I believe, because shucks, we when we die and we continue to grow and we come back as helpers, no matter what position it is, we can come back to this world and we can manifest the body and stuff. But as for coming back through the womb again, I don't. Here's what, that's the part that's kind of still messing me up a little bit, because as you develop and you learn how to sargus and manifest the body as you grow in spiritually, I don't really see the need to actually come back through a womb again, because you're able to just manifest yourself, right? And you can manifest yourself literally as anything when you come back. Like seriously, that's how I understand it. Not that you're gonna be born and come back into the world as a butterfly, you know. But if you need to, I mean, because let me just think about this a little bit more. That's the part that's really like messing me up. And not messing me up, but it's like, I don't know, because if you've already developed this far, why would you come back through the womb again just to start all over? Like regrow. I remember I ain't seen him in a while, but Owaski College University, he said that's just like graduating high school and starting back over, going to pre-K again, you know. And so that's what I'm just like, ah, I I don't quite agree with that in here, you know. So hold on, let's see what y'all said. Deshaun said it sounds like they're coming to break the cycle. Yeah, kind of, but I mean, I get it, right? So it says, um, hold on. Okay, so like verse 240. The coming of our Lord and Lady in human garb is a great mystery. Even I, their messenger, understand only in part. Well, they understand only in part, and that's why I say we probably lack an understanding here. Even I, their messenger, understand only in part. Behold, I know that the lady must incarnate through a human womb, that she may purify the subtle realm wherein souls await their next incarnation. For demonic parasites have infested that realm. And I know that the Lord must incarnate through a human womb so that he may die as a human in order to. Okay, so maybe, hold on. Sister. The first time coming into the world. So before we even come here, right? So maybe I'm just not understanding the whole creator's thing, right? Because it's creator who creates our spirits, right? Like we're on the right track. It's the creator who creates our spirits. So when we're first created, we're with him, right? And then at whatever timeline throughout the earth, he decides to send this newly created spirit into the world. And then you start that process, right? So I'm wondering if it maybe I'm not understanding or reading it wrong. So maybe that is what they're talking about. I don't know, but newly created spirit, they're talking like they fully grown and stuff. I don't know. I'm missing some stuff. So maybe this is the first time. But I think it said them coming again. So, but I don't know. I want to say I'm the one that's getting things mixed up, because even back here a couple days ago, when we was reading about the Queen of Seven and how she would come, the first time born as a woman, second time the scriptures, and then the third time coming, it would be fully born spirit, like full of growth and all of that. So I'm thinking it's still along those lines. I'm not sure. We're gonna keep reading. Let me see what y'all said though. Dawn said, Creator said we only get one body. I agree. One body, like what we have now, like this is the only body we get born into this world, right? But I believe after this, as we grow and develop in spirit, when we pass on from here, we can come back and manifest ourselves if we've gotten to that level of understanding and understanding and able to control the elements. We understand what the body is made. It's literally science, for real, for real. We're able, if we understand the elements, we're able to pull the elements together and manifest the body. I mean, shucks, it talked about that in the WASP too, you know. Let's see. Tabitha, we need to properly understand what the Megillah means by reincarnation. I agree, right? Because I feel like I'm still missing something. So how do we re-enter a womb? Yeah, see, I don't. That's the part I'm not at this point agreeing with. I don't think. I know this is saying that. I don't know. I'm still lacking information. I just don't believe at this point that we enter the womb a second time. Uncle JB, shalom, shalom. Right. Creator said that we don't do that, right? Yeah. You can create your own body when you learn how. I agree with that. Dawn said I agree. It would be so many Juhas born. It would be unreal. Very good point. Listen. Oh my gosh. Very good point that you said that, which is why I don't believe we come back through the womb a second time. Because remember how when we was reading Susan B. Martinez's book, how she was talking about how babies are their body is pretty much taken over from birth. Sometime some people never really meet the native spirit of the child that's born, depending on the circumstances of that pregnancy, the life of the mother, the life of the father, you know, and the time that baby is born. If they're into some things, I say on the road to darkness or whatever, many levels removed from the creator, you know, they're a prime target for those who have already released their physical body, that are trying to come back into this world. That's why we have demonic activity and stuff. That's why I'm like, I don't think we come back through the womb again. Otherwise, for real, you wouldn't even have the need for the demonic activity of those who are bound to this realm for a period of time, right? They're trying to get back into bodies, which is why people get possessed and stuff, you know. So I'm like, that entering a womb is just, I ain't feeling that for real, because that would throw a few more things out of whack that we've kind of, you know, it would make some things just like, okay, well, now explain this then, you know. And it could be we still misunderstand it, but that's one of the main reasons I'm glad you said that. You know, it would be so unreal. Just imagine all the demonic entities and stuff, which are nothing more than once humans walking in the flesh who have died. And when they died, their spiritual levels were so low, they were not able to rise and ascend to the next level yet. I mean, they will eventually, you know, depending on how fast they grow, the atmosphere, the region they're in, the teaching that they can come upon while they're in spirit, because us being still in the flesh, us teaching, they can actually come within our vicinity and they can learn from us, and we can help them be raised up, even though they're already born fully in the spirit realm, right? So that I'm so glad you said that, Deshaun. But that is my main reason why, you know. So, but yeah, it would be off the chain. This world would literally be off the chain if that could happen, you know. That's just how I understand it at this point. I used to believe in that, but now I don't, because of the more information that I've come across and I read and I've studied, you know. So, all right, let me go on. Jamil said, when I read about Capelia, Moses, and Poe, something in the reading told me that person reincarnated, incarcerated. I don't remember who one or the verse. I was just surprised. When I read about Capelia, Moses, and Poe, something in the reading told me that person reincarnated or incarnated. I don't remember who or the verse. I was just surprised. We still going back through it again. It's gonna be a minute before we even get back to that, but I'm sure when we come upon it, we're gonna remember. If anybody can remember that part, pull it up, because I'll pull it up and read it today. Just so we can kind of flesh all this stuff out. Prime show, what's going on, fam? The womb is a portal, earth, or the womb man. I believe the womb is a portal, right? But listen, okay, so like with people being born again, the baby would pass through at the time of, well, shoot. I think even in the womb, the native spirit can be subverted. Hold on. Let me read this from Gloria. And she probably texted because she didn't have all that space. It only allows so many characters. Okay. So Gloria said, and top of the day, Gloria, she said, Shalom, Sister Pam. It seems to me that the Lord and Lady are Lord gods, not the creator. Yeah, I agree with that. They're not creator. And that the man who translated the text did so with a certain perspective. That's kind of what I was thinking as well, right? Listen, and that the man who translated the text did so with a certain perspective to keep a specific narrative going. Remember his translation about how to address same-sex marriage? Basically, don't judge it because it will die off since there's no future generations. But these people are having babies by in vitro or adoption, and in doing so, give their way of life a future. I've attended 2 of their Zoom meetings, and it seems like they worship the Lord and Lady and Mary Magdalene and her womb. See, listen, when I reminded y'all about it the first time a few months ago, like that I think that was the only one. No, maybe I think I caught one more, but I haven't really, simply because my schedule was so crazy. But I haven't been able to catch any more of them, so I haven't really, like I said, been able to study and actually really pay attention. But it's good that y'all have. But I mean, if I'm not saying they are, I don't know. This is just her take. But we shouldn't be worshiping any of them, because we're not trying to fall into that same line of, and I know it's gonna sound like blasphemy to some people, but hear me out, stick with me. We don't want to fall into the same line like we did when we was worshiping Jesus Christ, because a whole bunch of people still think you're supposed to worship Jesus Christ because they believe that Jesus is God or creator, which is not the truth, right? He was just like one of us, someone who walked. I mean, if you get the real account of his life, he just lived a life in line with the light of the creator. And he was example to his other brothers and sisters, which are us. He is nothing more than a brother to us, right? But not the creator, not someone we should worship. He was no greater really than a Moses or a Capelia or a Paul or anybody who walked righteously. We're not to worship them. Right? They're teaching us how to walk in this world, stay in a connection with the creator. And by doing that, you get like certain gifts and things that other people who don't understand think is supernatural. But humans have the tendency, because we have that, I call it the worship gene, for lack of better words, because all humans are born with a worship gene. Sometimes they get off track on who and what they should worship, right? They take that and they apply it to the wrong people, right? And that was only there. That's the space only. That worship gene is designed only for the creator, your maker, And so they get it all out of whack. But let me finish reading her, what she said about this. Okay, let me just start over. Shalom, Sister Pam. It seems to me that the Lord and Lady are Lord gods, not the creator. I agree with that. And that the man who translated the text did so with a certain perspective to keep a specific narrative going. Remember his translation about how to address same-sex marriage? Basically, don't judge it because it'll die off. And if y'all weren't here for that, go back to the video. I can't even change my thumbnail on Facebook, I think because of the title, same-sex marriage or whatever. And it's probably their algorithm or bot picking up, maybe it's something not cool or something harmful. But go back to that particular video few weeks ago, same-sex marriage, and that's when we got into that portion here. And basically, just to sum it up, if you missed it, what it was saying was pretty much like what she said in a nutshell. Like, if it's not of the creator or whatever, it'll die off, for lack of better words. But it also had the point in there that something can be learned from every relationship. Something's like, okay. Some things I'm just like, okay, I'm just keep on reading, Okay, basically, don't judge it because it'll die off since there's no future generations. But these people are having babies by in vitro or adoption, and in doing so, give their way of life a future. I've attended 2 of their Zoom meetings, and it seems like they worship the Lord and Lady and Mary Magdalene and her womb, which we shouldn't be doing, right? We should not be doing that. If that is happening, we should not be doing that. What language did he translate it from, or was this book channeled? I'm not looking for errors because I know that I don't know anything. Many things do ring true in the book. It's just some things in the book give me pause. I agree. Please excuse my ignorance and help me make this make sense. How do you reason it out? That's why y'all hear me say this is triggering me, right? So I was like, I'm gonna keep reading. It's some things. It's just we should treat it like anything else, right? That's how I feel at this point, because we're putting everything on the table. We don't know. Well, I ain't gonna say we don't know what's true and what's false, but certain things we can feel deep within ourselves is the truth, right? It'll ring true. We can test things, but we have to be very, very careful, because just like other things had leaven braided or added right into the loaf, it could be true of this as well. And some things like this part right here, I'm just like, I'm moving kind of cautiously, right? I don't want to keep glossing over it like I believe it's true. I'm gonna make it be known like I don't quite agree with this, so maybe that's where the term old soul came from. That person has been here before being born again. Maybe. Abba Girl said, I'm not feeling the reincarnation idea. We are created to process. If we can complete part of the first station here, it's only logical that we have to keep ascending to grow to higher grades. I completely agree with that, Abba Girl. I completely agree. And Jamia said, agree, intuitive goat. They seem to be on a mission. Okay, and last thing she said, right. That's what Deshawn said. She said she agreed with. It would be so many Juhas born, it would be unreal. All right. I know you mean progress. Okay. So just me said John 3:6. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto thee, ye must be born again. And I believe that first you come in the flesh, then well, shucks, you are spirit. Like you are spirit from the time of your creation, then conception. While you walk your flesh life, you're still spirit covered in flesh. And then once we leave this realm, we completely shed this flesh, and I believe it's like we have to first be born here to be able to understand this realm and the levels. It's just like I said, like a experiment in science class or with anything, or even with math. Even you have to start at the lower levels and work your way through each one individually before you can learn how to work out equations and algebra and trigonometry, all these higher type formulas. You have to have like a foundation. And I think coming through the womb from the father to your physical father, then him passing you to your mother, and passing us to Mother Earth, developing here. Those are the processes, like learning addition. Matter of fact, learning how to recognize the numbers, right? And then learning what order the numbers go in, then how to add the numbers, and then how to subtract the numbers, and then how to multiply the numbers, and then divide the numbers, and then we'll start on some fractions. I think life is just like that. And as you grow, your knowledge builds, your foundation gets stronger. And which is why when we get born fully spirit and we keep growing, we learn how to manifest flesh. We can sargus in and out of this life or whatever, and help along the way, help those who are at different levels, because we've been through those levels. We understand, okay, you're doing this wrong. So that's what I believe about that. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh and whither it goeth. So everyone that is born of spirit. Maybe a womb birth isn't actually the beginning. I don't think it's actually, I think it's the beginning of life here, but I think we do develop before we get here, because even your it's just certain things, they're like, yeah, I believe that, and it's just here we get a chance, like whatever we were designed to be is just here, that this is the lab, but we can give it time to grow and develop it and pull certain things out of people, like certain talents and like their personalities. This is like the practice ground to bring all that goodness that's on the inside of you out, so that had to be put in you at some stage, and you were alive, even though you weren't alive like here, able to act out those things and develop like we do now. But I believe that. I don't believe that the womb is actually the beginning. Okay. Dawn said, that's what I'm thinking. Jamia, I don't believe they really mean coming through a womb a second time. Right. I thought about that, Tabitha. So that's why I'm like, let's keep reading, make sure I'm not missing something. And it could still be analogies and how they're using this. It's just we haven't like cracked that open yet. I would love to crack it open, because I don't like talking in analogies. I mean, I will. I don't believe they really mean coming through a womb a second time. Remember the lesson with Nicodemus asking if a person can enter the womb a second time, right? Right. Okay. I believe we existed before we come through the womb, is what Don said. Two coming back in spirit, but wearing human bodies could produce a human born of spirit. You know what? That's like what it says. But listen though. But listen. Remember also at the beginning when it was talking about how Jah emanated Jade from him, and Jala emanated Jade and Jana, like the only begotten son and the only begotten daughter, but emanated them from their spirit. So when we got into that, now I don't think that's far-fetched, simply because of all that I've learned from we'll call it the esoteric realm, so to speak, right? Because you can, from your essence, it's just a higher spiritual knowledge. You can literally emanate spirits from yourself to go do your bidding, right? And that blew my mind. So now that I understand it, remember I showed y'all the books out. Let me show it to you again. One of the magic books I got. Not that I take this and go use this stuff, but it's a lot of jewels in here. This one right here by it's from the Gallery of Magic. This particular author is Gordon Winterfield, who is in that Gallery of Magic with Damon Brand, and this is called The Demons of Magic, right? So, but in here, it's talking about the process, and I remember, disclaimer, I only told y'all about this because I think the authors for these books, they're very level-headed, and they give you the good and the bad, and they tell you there's a lot of magic books out there. People get themselves in trouble, but they literally studied this and what happens and what works, why it works, from what they perceive, all the information that they gathered, and they tell you not to use this to harm people, because it's going to come back on you, just all those spiritual laws that they've understood. But they call them servitors. You can literally create servants, like emanate servants from yourself to go literally do your bidding. You could literally create them to go harm somebody. You could speak a curse or an incantation over somebody to go do something. So I'm thinking, if I understand that they can do this, And this is showing it to you. And I got it. The other magic books or whatever, they say how you can use the good angels or good demons or whatever you want to call it, right? But I'm just looking at the process and understanding what's happening, looking how to actually manifest here in the realm. If I know they understand this now in this generation, that people can actually do this, and it really don't take that much. You just need to have a little bit of spiritual understanding. And so some of those things where the only begotten son being emanated from their essence, the son, and then a daughter, where it wasn't actually a sexual intercourse. Remember, I forget, it was Yorubi, the process of, what is it called? I might be screwing this up. The process of parthenogenesis, maybe, where it talks about, I know this sound like foreign to our ears today, but if you have the proper understanding, if you've taken care of your body in the right fashion, that a woman actually, it still sounds kind of crazy to me, that a woman doesn't actually need the seed of a man to reproduce, right? And so I'm like, well, it still seem kind of far-fetched to me. They say they've had some cases. I read over some of the little medical things. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like there's some information still missing from here, but then I look in the plant kingdom. Even though we're not plant kingdom, you have this happening with certain species of plants, and I think I want to say a few insects can do it, but humans, that seems to me to be kind of far-fetched, but I ain't taking nothing off the table, so I'm just like, well, okay, I'm still ignorant in a lot of things, so some things is just like, I feel like I'm still lacking information with certain things. So let's see. Jamil said, let's ask David Day. We should. Matter of fact, when is the next one? This Sunday? You know what? The Zoom, we could email. We could send an email. Let's go to the private group, and we'll figure out the email that we want to send, and we're gonna ask them, and we're gonna pick the person and send it. Jamil, we're gonna probably have you send the email. Okay. True. I don't think Juhas can reincarnate. I don't think so. Yeah, we should ask Day. He responds quickly. Juhas are low-grade spirits that can't put on human bodies. I agree, which is why they like to usurp human bodies and possess them or oppress them to get them to do their bidding, right? Because they can't come through the womb again, right? So, okay. The Lewis, according to Owaspi, used the process of bloodline to bring forth a particular person, right? But that's developed throughout the years, right? So it's a process, and it's not the same person coming back. My mom said the movie Heart and Soul with Robert Downey Jr. and Aletha Woodard. That was good. Yeah, have y'all seen that? That's a really, really good movie. But that's actually talking about, well, it shows you, okay, so it shows you like the world. I just kind of sum it up. The human world and the spiritual world kind of merged into one, but everything we don't normally see, they make it visible in this movie. So the spirits who are following this little boy around, you actually see like what happened to them, how they follow him around, how they influence him throughout his years and days and stuff. And then as he gets a little bit older, he becomes aware of these spirits and their influence over his life. But it was a really, really good movie, Heart and Soul. There's another one this Sunday. Okay. I definitely think I saw an altar. I will be listening because this is a hard saying, fade into the background. Yeah, we still trying to work through all of this. Audrey said, from what I understand from the text, the Lord and Lady isn't creator, but the son and daughter of the creator, the one that became four. Right. So you have a creator, which it has creators, right? Male, female energy, right? And which is Jah and Jah together, right? And then from them emanates Jade and Jala. The what is it? The two who that became one and the one that is two. And then when the two were emanated from them, it's like a family of four, right? I probably said that wrong. This probably sounds like something cultish. For lack of better words. Yeah, but yeah, what you just said, right? And the 4 that are 1. Okay. Ya, ja, jala, jade, ya, ja, and jala, jade, and jana. Right. Prove all things. Okay. All right. As we keep reading and learning, everything will be found out as to what's from Creator or not. I agree. Okay, so let me finish reading this. Yes, Tootie. Maybe there's some.
Room 2 times.
Very good. All right. Put some Carmex on your lips, Kara. Maybe there's some kind of esoteric meaning, right? That's what I was saying. I was like, maybe it's an analogy or something. I don't know, but we're gonna keep reading. Okay, let me see real quick. I think we do that when we manifest. I think we do that, yeah, when we manifest as well, like because, yeah, I agree. I've experienced some things, different density, different plans of existence that will cause karmic debt if used to affect someone's free will. I do agree with that as well. That reincarnation word is the through off, is the that reincarnation word is the throw off. The Waspi said reincarnation is invented teaching of Druhas. Right. Like I agree with that. The way that like it's being said here, it seems like in some places it doesn't. It seems like it's talking about like a higher understanding of something. Then in other places, like where we're at now, it's like, yeah, no, we don't quite agree with this. Okay, so let me keep going, y'all. Okay. All right. The Lewis coming to Holy Megillah too. Let's see. Might have to stream that. Yeah, stream it. Heart and Soul. It's a real good one. It's a real good one. Okay. Let me finish reading this, y'all. We gotta her pause. 7:21. Okay. Listen. Okay. Let me go back. Okay, verse 238. This is what we keep getting hung up at. Okay, we're just gonna keep reading, y'all. We're gonna work it out, right? We're adults where we separate truth from error. We're gonna keep on reading. All right. Verse 238, the coming of our Lord and Lady in human garb is a great mystery. Even I, their messenger, understand only in part. Behold, I know that the Lady must incarnate through a human womb that she may purify the subtle realm wherein souls await their next incarnation. For demonic parasites have infested that realm. And I know that the Lord must incarnate through a human womb so that he may die as a human in order to enter and purify the subtle realm where souls first go at the end of an incarnation. For demonic parasites have also infested that realm. And I know that the Lord and Lady come to teach the way to transcend the will of required reincarnation. For lo, many souls in this world have tumbled down the ladder of transmigration into lower worlds, even losing all memory of their previous existence. Yea, many will fall into the deep sleep by playing the dangerous game of required transmigration. Wherefore the Lord and Lady will come to offer the path of resurrection and ascension in place of required reincarnation. Oh, let me just make myself a note here and underline this. Jamil brought this part out too. Required reincarnation. We're still studying, y'all. Okay, verse 248, on page 349, the Holy Megillah. It's chapter 3 of the Holy GodSpell. But only those who believe and obey are capable of accepting this offer. For behold, the way of transmigration of souls now has dominion in this world. For the world has slipped into darkness, and only by grasping the saving hand can any from this world find salvation. For all who die in this world will be unable to escape the required transmigration unless their souls are attuned to the Lord and Lady. And that attunement is first received by baptism in the Lord and Lady. Then it must be sustained by practicing their saving way as devoted disciples. Yea, and their saving way will be taught in sessions of Omna by their true priesthood of apostolic succession, which is the Nazarene priesthood of the Essene way. And though anyone can use the word Essene, for it means healers, and many will claim that name. There is but one empowered line of Nazarene apostolic succession, and that line will offer the true baptism to true believers in secret, even when the world sees no Nazarene church, and many souls will be saved from the deep sleep. You, O Yaketzea, are now the Yair of that true line. You will write down these words I speak and preserve them, as will your successors preserve the holy Megillah of the revealed arm. Behold, you are now the head of the lions of Zion of the revealed arm, and guardian of the sacred scrolls of that arm. Think not that your task will be easy. Lo, Lucifer, the servant of Satan, is now the prince of this world. Even so, this world is not yet lost. Yea, though falling from the heavenly hierarchy, this world is still contested by the Lord and Lady. But many in this world do Lucifer's bidding, some knowingly, some unknowingly. Lucifer will seek to destroy the work of the Lord and Lady by all means at his disposal. And the Lord and Lady, according to the laws of intervention, may only make use of certain methods of intervention. But Satan and Lucifer are willingly bound by no rules of intervention, being bound only unwillingly by certain interventions of the Lord and Lady. Okay, so here's another thought I had, y'all. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna read this again over at 265. Okay, so you know how we understand that there are multiple worlds, right? Earth isn't the only one, right? And a lot of that detail I understand just through reading OWASP and understanding a few different things, right? So I'm wondering, like in here, you know how it always has like the Lord and Lady. Maybe they're kind of, to me, it seems like what OWASP calls, you know how you have the God of a world, right? The God, like the God of earth. And that God changes over time, right? But it seems like to me, when it says the Lord and Lady, it's almost like saying God, right? Instead of saying God, he just break it out and say the Lord and Lady of this world, you know. So the masculine and the feminine energy together ruling this particular world, but it's still, I still think they've misaligned that their worship gene, where it should be going towards the Father, the Creator, you know. So that's my thought while I'm reading through this, y'all. Migration meaning going from one place to another. Yeah. All right, look. Okay, so let's go back. Verse 263. But many in this world do Lucifer's bidding, some knowingly, some unknowingly. Lucifer will seek to destroy the work of the Lord and Lady by all means at his disposal. And the Lord and Lady, according to the laws of intervention, may only make use of certain methods of intervention. But Satan and Lucifer are willingly bound by no rules of intervention, being bound only unwillingly by certain interventions of the Lord and Lady. Wherefore know this, Yaketzea, you and your successors are the primary means of intervention in this world by the Lord and Lady. And though the army of the Lord and Lady within the mother ovum will surely win the day in the end, many worlds and souls will be lost to Satan and his servants. And this is possible because the great freedom whereby all beings were given free will. And some will use their free will to choose evil, for to ordain mandatory obedience would be to create naught but a race of slaves. Wherefore Jaja chose the great freedom. Yea, the coming of the Lord and Lady in human garb is indeed a mystery, and I have revealed that only some of what I know, and I do not know all that the Lord and Lady knows. But know this, O Yaketzea, by entering the human stream, the Lord and Lady bless and affect the flow of that stream in many ways you cannot imagine. Interesting. They would use that. Sounds like Owaspy. But know this, O Yaketzea, by entering the human stream, the Lord and Lady bless and affect the flow of that stream in ways you cannot imagine. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about the line of light. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. Okay. Verse 276. Not only their lives, but even their deaths will influence the flow of the human stream. For by loving this world enough to put on human flesh, and die violent deaths for the cause of goodness, they alter the chain of cause and effect that governs the flow of this stream. Yea, and by leaving their seed in this stream, they bless this stream and counter the seed of Lucifer. For behold, in their first coming, they will bless the human stream with a holy seed, a goblet that will hold the blood of the Lord and Lady. But the minds of men cannot fully comprehend these mysteries. Find peace in the awareness that by two arms, one revealed and the other concealed, the Lord and Lady contest Satan for this world. The incarnations of the Lord and Lady in human flesh are not easily accomplished. For behold, they are subject to the rules of intervention as ordained before the beginning of this world. And the astrological factors must be precise, though the world knows not the true astrology. Yea, the human mind cannot fathom or calculate those astrological factors. Indeed, even the combined minds of 10,000 cherubim cannot do that calculation. Lo, the transcendental forms of the Lord and Lady are more luminous than 1,000 suns. Wherefore, they did not veil their glory. Wherefore, if they did not veil their glory, their coming would be too much for this world to bear. Even in the lower heavens like El Cush, and in the higher heavens like the sun temple, they veil the full glory of their forms. And so they cannot come in the form of God and Goddess to this world, but in the forms of perfected humanity, male and female, to show the way to humankind. For only by walking the way will humankind transcend the will of required birth and death to ascend to El Cush and the higher heavens. Now, let's listen to this theory I have, right? And I think this may happen in every generation. Okay. Let me make my mark. Hopefully y'all can get what I'm saying. Listen. Okay. So as far as we know, right? Let's just throw everything here. Let's just throw everything here in the same pot. As far as we know, all the religious stories that come to us, all of these people who walk superhumanly, or full of complete goodness, not one flaw in them, just perfect beings who walk the earth. As far as we know, this could be a bunch of garbage, right? Because in our generation, in our waking life, right, it doesn't seem to be one of them around, right? The closest thing to that is those of us who are literally stumbling our way through life, trying to understand and try to do the best that we can. But I don't listen, man, I could be wrong. But I think each generation gets a story about a previous generation where there are currently no people currently living who have actually lived in that generation to actually see such person walking this way. We always get that passed down many generations later, but currently in our own generation, we don't see such a one, right? So I'm thinking this could be just like a teaching method. And there could have been righteous people that lived from the time they were born to the time they ascended to El Cush or heaven, wherever they went into the spiritual realm. It could be, and maybe the stories are just written later, because I would think, and granted, people who walk humbly, they don't draw attention to themselves. So they very well could be living, but I would think if they were sent into this world, mind you, not that they came before, but if they were groomed and the line of Lewis has developed someone who could hear the voice of the Creator, I would think in each generation, there would be somebody actually living, walking that where we have a live example in each generation, right? So I think the stories, a lot of time, they are analogies and they could be true. This is just my thing, my theory. I'm just still kind of walking through it. I'm not saying my theory is perfect. I'm still trying to work it out. But I'm just thinking that the stories are created because if the stories come from many years ago, unless you have the help of you have unseen help, like channeling this stuff to you, downloading it to you, like we wouldn't know, right? And especially with the way we see technology being developed over the years, how would that have been passed down? So I'm thinking about all of these things. So I'm thinking that the stories are created and adjusted as time goes on to help humanity, because they understand that they have this worship gene inside of them, not to necessarily manipulate them, but kind of as a guide to guide them, give you some kind of reference point to look at and read and study and just pick apart. So that's what I'm thinking. Not saying that these people didn't exist, because there had to be people that existed before our generation of the current people that's currently alive on the earth, right? So there is a history. But what I'm wondering is, out of all the generations who currently live on this earth, because there are multiple generations currently alive, who in their generation, like we probably got great, 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 and not in every place on the earth, but some people still have great, great, greats alive, right? Go back to them. Okay, who in your generation? What was that? Like, did y'all see this in y'all generation? Come to the great greats. Okay, who did you see? Walk, okay, that granddaddy, grandma, who in your generation did you see? Like our generation, who is there? So I'm thinking that the stories are just like, sometimes I think they may be overinflated. I don't know, but that's one of the things I'm like trying to figure out. Each generation, even if they don't come every generation, right? I really just think it's a guiding post to help us develop through school here. Give us something to look at, something to uh a higher way of living to attain to. But I'm just wondering, like, has anybody like seriously, like not things that can be contested, something that can be truly be proven. Because a lot of this stuff, for real, if we think about it, not a lot of it can be proven. Like seriously, it really can't. With all the technology, unless there is like a group of us who are like consistent, and we meditate, and we like on purpose. I think there needs to be a test group of those of us who meditate, like, listen, okay, this is going to be like recorded, like we're going to be the study group, like live testing sessions, but we know you can do that, like with Robert Monroe and the Robert Monroe University here in Virginia, and how they really break down the astral projecting, and how everybody can do it, and the spirit, how it can leave the body and come back at will, different things like that. I think if there were more people that did that, I think a lot of this stuff, like a lot of the information that we have that's being passed down, if we could like just tap into that spiritual realm, being consistent, because most of us don't, because we got so many distractions all around us. Everything, that the shiny balls and all that stuff that keep us occupied with everything other than our spiritual growth and the real reason why we came here, you know. So that's my theory. I'm thinking, and like I said, I could completely be wrong, but I would think in so many generations, at least one, even with the multiple generations currently alive, and as they progress, there should at least be one generation alive currently on the earth that can pinpoint and that can point to proof of somebody who walked like that, But here in this generation, looking back, and clearly not looking forward yet, we have not like found that one. Even there are some that are notable from birth, like this child, look at this, and granted, there are some children that got talents, and they can sing, they can play the drums like nobody's business. They didn't even have a teacher come out the womb understanding this. But I'm talking about something higher, like what we read about in some of these stories, so that's why I'm just like, I don't know. All of this is just, I'm rolling all of this through my head, just really trying to understand it. Righteousness is based on obedience, not perfection. So we're righteous because of that. Remember how Abraham's righteousness was accredited to him because of obedience. I agree with that. I agree with that. Eternal learner, shalom, blessed day to everyone. Late to the reading, but thank goodness for replays. Yes and amen. Okay, let me just get through that. I wanted to express my theory on this, just in case somebody has some insight for me. Okay, let's finish up this and we're gonna be done, y'all. We can get out of here. I ain't gonna see y'all tomorrow because we're gonna observe the Sabbath. This is the last Sabbath. This is the last Saturday where we observe the Sabbath for this moon cycle, and it's going to change here in a few days. Okay, listen. Verse 290, page 351. We in chapter 3. We almost done, y'all. We almost done. And so they come not in the form of God and goddess to this world, but in the forms of perfected humanity, male and female, to show the way to humankind. For only by walking the way will humankind transcend the will of required birth and death, and ascend to El Kush and the higher heavens. Yea, though they themselves, God and goddess eminent, they come as righteous man and woman. Yea, only to the remnant will the truth of their identities be revealed, and that remnant is the nation of Yesarel, Yesar apostrophe El, those in right relationship. Yisrael is those in wrong relationship. For lo, only the remnant will receive the full gospel, in which Jade and Jana are revealed. And if one outside the remnant receives the full gospel, behold, he or she is no longer outside of that remnant. And if any persecute the incarnate word, so will they persecute the written word at the time of their first coming. Yea, the Holy Megillah will receive opposition from the king of darkness and all who do his bidding. Wherefore the original scrolls are always with the guardians of the scrolls, who are Nazarene lions of the Zoroaster star. These scrolls will not be seen by the world, for they would be seized by the minions of the Dark Lord. And when copies are made by the hand of the one chosen by Hanukkah in each age and go forth into the world at the start of each millennium, the minions of Satan will call for proof. Oh, Lord have mercy. Did that just make me a minion of Satan? Because I'm asking look, listen. First of all, I'm going to highlight this, but I ain't a minion of Satan. I just give my whole spiel on my theory. I'm just trying to work this stuff out. Hold on, let me highlight this. Let me read this again. Look, I just don't like to go into things blindly. Blind faith, I ain't for that. Listen, okay. I'm going to read it again. Verse 299. These scrolls will not be seen by the world, for they would be seized by the minions of the Dark Lord. And when copies are made by the hand of one chosen by Hanukkah in each age and go forth into the world at the start of each millennium, the minions of Satan will call for proof. Yea, they will say, show us the originals that we may believe. But they say this is not because they desire to believe, for their desire is to find and destroy the scrolls. Oh, look, I'm trying to get these scrolls and inform everybody. Look, y'all, look what's been hidden. Okay, let's now revisit this whole theory of what we had. We got to adjust it some more. I'm looking for them for growth and betterment, so we can ascend. I ain't trying to get them and destroy them. So they ain't me. I'm not a minion of Satan, y'all. Listen. Yea, they will say, show us the originals that we may believe. But they say this not because they desire to believe, for their desire is to find and destroy the scrolls. Wherefore, only 3 proofs will be given. 1, the evidence of a higher teaching than in other scriptures. Wherefore, only 3 proofs will be given. 1, the evidence of a higher teaching than in other scriptures. 2, the evidence of physical and spiritual transformation when one follows the teachings of the Holy Megillah. The witness of this transformation being oneself. Let me read it again. Hold on. Verse 3 or 4. 1, the evidence of a higher teaching than in other scriptures. 2, the evidence of physical and spiritual transformation when one follows the teachings of the Holy Megillah, the witness of this transformation being oneself. And thirdly, the evidence of the direct testimony of the Holy Spirit in the heart of the reader of the Holy Megillah. Yea, the Holy Spirit will give testimony in the heart of each reader, not under the spell of Satan. Behold, to give any other proof would deny the spiritual aspirant the opportunity and spiritual obligation to recognize spiritual truth with spiritual eyes. Okay, I guess they kind of answer my question, this whole little spiel I just gave y'all. I should have just shut up and kept reading this. Listen, okay, I mean, I get that, right? I get it, because I was saying, like, you can inwardly understand truth when you hear it. We test it and we just kind of go through it, right? That's a part of growth. Okay, let me read that one more time. It's good. Wherefore, only three proofs will be given. One, the evidence of a higher teaching than in other scriptures. Two, the evidence of physical and spiritual transformation when one follows the teachings of the Holy Megillah, the witness of this transformation being one's self. And thirdly, the evidence of the direct testimony of the Holy Spirit in the heart of the reader of the Holy Megillah. Yea, the Holy Spirit will give testimony in the heart of each reader, not under the spell of Satan. Behold, to give any other proof would deny the spiritual aspirant the opportunity and spiritual obligation to recognize spiritual truth with spiritual eyes. Yea, such recognition is a requirement of discipleship. Okay. Verse 310. O Yakatzea, you have served well as chief priest of the Nazarenes of the region of Carmel, and now you will go to Alexandria to serve as Yair, the high priest of the Nazarenes of all regions. As such, you will make reign over the Zadokim, the Malki Zadik, the king judge of the Takbula Elyon. And you will lead the lions in battle as king lion of the revealed church, and you will conjure white magic as the master wizard of Essene mountain of peace. Behold, I now take you to the temple of light in the seventh heaven to receive consecration and commission at the hands of the Lord and Lady. For lo, the Lord and Lady recognize the hardship and heartache now upon you due to the slaughter of most of Yisrael. Yea, they wish to give aid and encouragement, even love and sympathy, and to lay hands of consecration upon your crown of humility. Then behold, Yakatzea felt called out of his physical body and found himself in a sort of spiritual body that cannot be described in the tongue of man. So he just left out the top of his head, right? He is in the astral dimension, or he's fully spirit, while his body is still yet alive. Then behold, Yakatzea felt called out of his physical body and found himself in a sort of spiritual body that cannot be described in the tongue of man. Lo, Gabriel, angel of the center branch of the tree of life, was joined by other angels of the tree of life. And these glorious cherubim guided Yakatzea to the temple of light in the seventh heaven. And there they were greeted by a holy assembly of Nazarene cherubim seated in many ranks. And in the center of the assembly were the Lord and Lady, robed in glorious bodies of radiant light. And in a ceremony of profound beauty that may not herein be described, the Lord Christ and Lady Christ anointed Yakatzea as Yair, the priest king of the Nazarene nation. Yea, and they comforted him and gave encouragement. Then lo, he was returned to Mount Carmel and his physical body. And the angel Gabriel continued to instruct Yakatzea, saying, behold, I will give you a scroll that will make possible the incarnations of the Lord and Lady. For lo, proper vessels must be prepared. Let's keep on reading. I'm interested in this. For lo, the proper vessels must be prepared to receive the souls of the Lord and Lady, and this scroll will show the way. Do not add this scroll to the Holy Megillah, but keep it separate. Make 7 copies of the scroll, then select from your surviving brethren and sisters leaders for 7 new hidden encampments. Provide a copy of this scroll to each leader with instructions to form within their encampment a secret suborder called the Order of the Immaculate Conception. Then lo, the angel said, peace be with you, then vanished, leaving the scroll with Yakatzea. Behold, the scroll was called the scroll of the angel on the Immaculate Conception. Yakatzea spent the night studying the scroll. Yea, he read the scroll several times, deeply contemplating its meaning. Lo, before he made the 7 copies of the scroll called for by Gabriel, Yakatzea wrote a letter that would be given to each of the 7 leaders of the new 7 encampments. He expressed great sympathy for the loss of many beloved ones at the hands of the Aaronites, which is Israel, right? They slaughter everybody, men, women, and children. Anything that pisseth up against the wall, and babies that attach to the teat of their mother, that's Israel. I'm sad to say that, but they were fooled. They thought they were truly worshiping Creator, and they had been tricked into worshiping a false god who ordered them to slaughter. Right? Lo, before he made the 7 copies of the scroll called for by Gabriel, Yakatzea wrote a letter that would be given to each of the 7 leaders of the 7 new encampments. He expressed great sympathy for the loss of many beloved ones at the hand of the Aaronites. He wrote of the visitation of Gabriel and the giving of the scroll. He explained that the scroll called for the creation of 7 hidden encampments to be located along the River Jordan. Together with a network of home campuses, those 7 encampments would constitute the campus of the Order of the Immaculate Conception. That order itself would be that order would itself be a tributary of the Essene Mountain of Peace, the Nazarene Mystery School headquartered at the Mother Temple in Alexandria, Egypt. Though these 7 encampments along the River Jordan would be campuses to the eye, they would appear to be but small settlements. Yakatzea explained in his letter the purpose of the 7 campuses of Jordan and also the home campuses. Though each encampment would teach mastery of all 7 Sephiroth, each would be especially associated with one. The 7 Sephiroth, or the seals that are inside of you, like unlocking yourself, opening the gates, the 7 Sephiroth, or we know them better as the 7 chakras, right? If you unlock those, get them in order, you will become a way more spiritual person, and the heavenly mysteries will be downloaded into you. Yakatzea explained in his letter the purpose of the 7 campuses of the Jordan and also the home campuses. Though each encampment would teach mastery of all 7 Sephiroth, each would be especially associated with one. Wherefore, sound like the 7 churches, right? Wherefore, they would be arranged along the River Jordan in the order of the 7 Sephiroth of the Tree of Life, according to the Bahir Shabbatayim. Lo, these encampments would not be permanent homes for the students, but would be permanent homes for other Nazarenes, including teachers, crafters, and common villagers. For lo, Gabriel had said that the order of the Immaculate Conception should be a secret suborder within each village, hidden from the eyes of observers. Students would begin at the first of the encampments at the base of the Jordan and work their way up each encampment unto the 7th campus. Lo, each one must be at least 13 years of age to take initiation into the order and must not be older than 15. One must choose initiation of their own free will with the blessing of the parents required. Although initiation is not possible before the age of 13, the parents of the order raise even their younger children according to the ways of the order. Behold, each new initiate spends 1 month at each of the 7 campuses of the Jordan, beginning at the base of the Jordan, ascending unto the crown of Lake Galilee, right? At the base, the root chakra, working your way up, right? This is definitely an analogy to this. Yea, the 7th campus is hidden within the encampment at Lake Galilee. And when a student passes through all 7 encampments along the Jordan, he or she is taken to the home campus east of Mount Carmel. There they live with their family for 6 months. And during the 6 months, they study with the Nazarene priests and priestesses of Mount Carmel. At the end of the 6 months, which marks 1 Nazarene year of 13 months since taking initiation, each student lives with his or her family in one of the home campuses chosen by their parents. Lo, these are called home campuses because residence is of long duration, not just a month, as with the 7 Jordan River campuses. Behold, at age 17, the student repeats the journey up the 7 campuses of the Jordan, this time without requirement that their family accompany them. Nevertheless, a family member may choose to accompany the initiate, for though the path is patrolled by Nazarene lions, the journey is not without danger. Lo, the word immaculate means pure. Yea, and for the Lord and Lady to incarnate in human bodies, pure vessels must be prepared. The scroll given by Gabriel declared that this was to be accomplished over 7 generations. According to Gabriel, if a family line performs 7 consecutive generations of immaculate conception, the 7th generation, oh my gosh. Listen, who just said this? Wait, y'all, maybe you read ahead. Hold on. Who was that said about the Lewis? The Lewis we read about in Owaspy. Yes, babe. Today is Dad's birthday. Did y'all say happy birthday today?
Yeah,
and what? The karate party. Yes, it is. All right. So it's a very busy day. All right. So I'll be done in a second. Hold on. Okay. What? Hold on. I completely missed this. This is all back up here. Brian Show said the Tibetan Book of the Dead says you have 39 days after you die to get it right, or you're going to be reincarnated. Interesting. Okay, so what I was looking for, somebody mentioned about right, Jamia. Okay, Jamia said the Lewis come in Holy Megillah too, bro. Look, hold up. Look, this is definitely the order of the Lewis. They're the ones that are doing this. Okay, I just got it. Okay, let me keep reading, y'all. Listen, okay. Listen, verse 361. We almost done. Lo, the word immaculate means pure. Just in case y'all don't understand what Lewis are, we find that order of angels in Owaspy, and they're the ones. Lewis means master of generations, meaning they prepare a family line. They develop them throughout the years to make sure they're developing in a way to where when they're born into the world, and it takes at least 6 generations to do this, that 7th one born, that they can hear clearly from the Creator. But now, now that I said that out of my mouth like that, I'm also now wondering if that's an analogy of the chakras, right? That one that's born, it takes 6 generations. As you get up here, because 6 right here is the what, right? The pineal gland, the third eye. When you get right here, a lot of times you can begin to hear a little bit, but you can fully hear when this is open. The crown chakra, it's so much. Hold on. Right, Tabitha, you did mention the Lewis Hughes bloodline too, right? Okay, listen. Okay, so y'all paying attention, bringing along what we learned. Okay, look, verse 361, page 353. Lo, the word immaculate means pure. Yea, and for the Lord and Lady to incarnate in human bodies, purified vessels must be prepared. The scroll given by Gabriel declared that this was to be accomplished over 7 generations. According to Gabriel, if a family line performs 7 consecutive generations of immaculate conception, the 7th generation would see the birth of vessels pure enough to make possible the incarnation of the Lord Christ and Lady Christ. Behold, an immaculate conception is a pure conception in spiritual love by a man and a woman, made pure by the teachings and discipleship of the order of the Immaculate Conception. Behold, not all who walk the path of the order of the Immaculate Conception will choose to make babies. Now I'm seeing kind of how this got all twisted in the New Testament as well with the Immaculate Conception, this process. Okay. Behold, not all who walk the path of the order of the Immaculate Conception will choose to make babies, for not all are called to the path of parenthood. And of them who choose to make babies, not all will choose to do so according to the most rigorous disciplines of Immaculate Conception. But even those not called to make babies may benefit from the teachings and discipline of the order. For lo, every Nazarene is called to purify the 7 Sephiroth within and to birth the Christ within. You're walking up the ladder of light, my G. Purify the Christ within, right? Become a Christ one, part of the Christ family. This is good. But for them who feel called to birth a child according to the most rigorous precepts of immaculate conception, yea, and to raise the child in ways of the order of the immaculate conception. The scroll declares this: if any family line performs 7 consecutive generations of immaculate conception, the bodies of them of the 7th generation shall be fit vessels to receive the souls of the Lord Christ and Lady Christ. And at that time, the Lord and Lady will take incarnation. Behold, many family lines will volunteer, and many will persist for a generation or two. Okay, so I'm thinking about something when it said this. Okay, so back when it was talking about the Lord and Lady and how bright there was and like how holy to send their seed into the world, like you had to be prepared for that amount of light. And even though that amount of light that they have at that high of a heaven, bringing it here into this world, you still can't see the fullness of it, but you can prepare yourself in a way where you can get a little glimpse of it, which is why you have to purify the lines in order to receive a soul with this light that can retain that light and be born here. And we'll literally probably see that person that I was complaining that we ain't seen in these generations. Okay, we almost done, literally. This is like the last page and just like a couple verses on this next page. But for them who feel called to birth a child according to the most rigorous precepts of immaculate conception, yea, and to raise the child in the ways of the order of the immaculate conception, the scroll declares this: if any family line performs 7 consecutive generations of immaculate conception, the bodies of them of the 7th generation shall fit the vessel to receive the souls of the Lord Christ and Lady Christ. And at that time, the Lord and Lady will take incarnation. Behold, many family lines will volunteer, and many will persist for a generation or two, and a few blessed family lines will persist unto 7 generations of immaculate conception. And none but Jaja and Elohim will know which family lines have persevered and which have not. And into each family line that perseveres for 7 generations, a great soul will incarnate. And into 2 of those family lines will incarnate the souls of the Lord and Lady. Lo, even 1st or 2nd generation immaculate conceptions attract beautiful souls. And with each additional immaculate conception in a family line, the beauty of the incarnating soul is magnified. Yea, to whatever degree parents purify themselves before conception, the purity of the soul attracted to the womb increases. This is beautiful. And that is the foundational precept of the order of immaculate conception. That's just like what we learned. That's clearly what we learned about Nowaspy and the order and the lines and who they're developing. Let not those family lines that stumble for a generation or more dismay, thinking we are tainted. For lo, any generation that embraces these disciplines, even for 1 generation, may see the birth of a holy child. Even everyone, even celibates and the aged, are called to birth a holy child within the manger of their own heart. And even a child born to loathsome parents may become a saint. Wherefore, no one should despair. In truth, every child is a holy child and should be so treated. And that is a precept of the order of the Immaculate Conception. For lo, only when each babe born on earth is treated as a holy babe will earth become a heaven. And every man or woman who stumbles, but again embraces these disciplines, may yet be Christed. And that is the precept of the order of the Immaculate Conception. Nevertheless, it is a spiritual truth that the more purified the parents are and the more spiritualized the conception is, the greater the likelihood of attracting to the womb a highly evolved soul. And that is the purpose of the order of the Immaculate Conception. Yea, all them who embrace the disciplines of the order of the Immaculate Conception will attract to the womb highly evolved souls. And the family lines that continue 7 generations, and the family lines that continue 7 generations will open the door into this realm for the purest souls to incarnate, even our God and Goddess eminent, the Lord Christ and Lady Christ. For behold, King Jade and Queen Jana come as a man and woman with their glory veiled. They will limit their powers to that which a perfected man and a woman are capable of, that they may demonstrate the potential of the human being. Ooh, okay. Let me read that again. For behold, King Jade and Queen Jana come as man and woman with their glory veiled. They will limit their powers to that which a perfected man and woman are capable of, that they may demonstrate the potential of the human being. And to show the fullness of human potential, they will wear bodies purified by 7 immaculate conceptions. For a lesser body could not hold the powerful vibrations of their soul, even though their glory be veiled. Okay, I was on the right track with that. Yea, the Lord and Lady will take incarnation into the 2 family lines that maintain the highest degree of purity for 7 generations. For lo, even amongst those who maintain the disciplines of immaculate conception, some do so to a higher degree and with greater commitment. The letter of Yakadzaya to the 7 leaders of the 7 new encampments contained the above and more. And with the letters were copies of the scroll of the angel on the Immaculate Conception. And these were taken and delivered by the surviving lions of Zion, who had rallied around their new leader, Yakadzaya. And that, my beautiful people, is the end of chapter 3. That was amazing. We went pretty long today, but listen, won't it though, just me? Won't it though? It said this teaching will piss off many of the Hebrew camps. Listen, look, all right, y'all, that's it for today. Oh yeah, heads up on the natural disasters about to raise major havoc on America. Judgment is upon humanity. It is good stuff, right, Tone? Listen, the judgment is upon humanity because humanity brings this on ourselves, not because there's a higher power about to destroy them for their disobedience. It's because we just walking in ignorance, right? That is what I understand today, right? If we made the mess, we can fix it, right? That's Creator's judgment. You fix your own mess, right? That's the judgment that has always been the judgment of the Creator. You broke it, you fix it, right? Right, because why only in America? It's not only in America. I know some people teach it that way and they push it that way. Judgment is upon America because of what they've done to God's chosen. I no longer believe that. I believe that for many years, even coming out of Christian. Matter of fact, I didn't start, but well, I did. I was believing that because the Christians frame that in a certain type of way, right? They frame it in a way that judgment is coming on America because they didn't crucify the Son of God and persecuting the Christian church. You come out of that debacle and you run right into another. In the Hebrew camps, judgment is on America because of what they've done to God's chosen. Right, and the more, and you can see this, and everybody got their own spin to this story, right? But everybody just want to push off responsibility to the next person, to the next generation. If he don't get you in this generation, he can get you in the next. That's why Jesus is always constantly coming, but never comes in any generation, right? So I'm just like, you know what, this is garbage. Fix your own messes, right? We were the ones put in charge of this realm here, right? You got a house, you in charge of your house. Your house look a mess. It's because you ain't cleaning your house. Or if you got tenants who live in your house and you keeping it good, you need to talk to the tenants in your house. But your house ain't gonna get clean unless you do something. Either you're gonna have the people in your house help you clean it, right? Or you want to hire outside help to come help you clean it, or you're gonna do it yourself. But either way, you need to initiate the cleaning of it. We ain't waiting for your neighbor. Hey, sis, your house clean today. I don't care about what you got going on in your house. You want to live in filth, you live in filth. Right? But everybody's always pushing off responsibility to the next person. And that's the main thing that's pushed in all the religions, from what I found and what I've studied, what I've observed, even while traveling the world, looking and paying attention to all this stuff. Everybody is pushing off responsibility to the next person, when the Creator's judgment is, you take responsibility for your life, you clean it up, right? Whatever you done screwed up, you go fix it to the best of your ability. If you don't know how, get some skill, learn how. And in the process of you fixing your messes is where we find the Creator coming alongside us to help us, giving us wisdom. Let me show you how to do this a little bit better. But most of the time, you got to walk through the manual ways of life first, right? Nowadays, when you get your driver's license, boop, boop, get an automatic. When we put you somewhere where you got to drive a stick shift, most people would never go anywhere. I learned how to drive a car on a stick shift. And you know what happened? I jumped down the street. Nope, sit there. Don't get out. My mama tried to teach me, but she had an automatic van. But a friend of the family, I'll take her, and she had a stick shift. I'll never forget Tawana. I so love her for this. I'm like, yeah, Tawana, gonna let me drive her car. Tawana at that time, she was like, I think Tawana probably like 25 years old. I'm like, yeah, pretty young. Boy, she was so hard on me trying to drive that car, hopping down the street, people behind me, cars honking and stuff. I'm sweating like, Tawana, I'm not. She said, I'm not driving. She said, you better stay right here. We're going to learn this today. She said, calm down. Don't worry about everybody around you. They're going to do what they're going to do. You need to focus. Calm down. When you all in the tizzy, you can't focus. That's why we're hopping down the street like a bunny. And she sat there and she was patient with me. Tears was in my eyes. I'm like, I ain't doing it. She said, well, I guess we ain't going home tonight, huh? Because she drove us out a little ways and she made me get behind the wheel. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm going to call my mama. But I ain't had no cell phone. We ain't had cell phones. I had a beeper. Listen, I ain't even had a two-way pager, So I got it after, shucks, about 2 hours, me and my shenanigans and stuff and sweating. And she's like, pull it together. You'll be all right. Wipe them tears. Let's go. Do this. Follow my direction. Learn how to feel it. Pay attention. She said you can feel the vehicle. You can, when you get better, you can watch the gears on the dashboard. And if you can understand the gears and all of this, the controls and stuff, you can shift. And then you'll become so good, you can just feel it and go, So I'm just saying it's like that. There's a Christian corner, or there's a Christian church on every corner. Yeah. Yes. My mama got patience, but when it came to driving behind vehicles where you can endanger her life, yep, let your daddy teach you how to drive. Tawana, yeah, sure, you can take her. All right, y'all. That's it for today. Let's get out of here. I won't see y'all back here till Sunday, right? Look, y'all, I still ain't posted my little picture, but we're going to another comedy show this weekend. I might still post the crazy T.I. looking picture or whatever, but I might post it with this next one for the next person we about to get to meet. So, but we'll see. We love comedy. Anytime there's a good comic coming in town, we'll get tickets, and because this is a part of our life. The laughter is the best medicine. So we like to share those things with y'all. But y'all, it is Friday, June 16th, 2023, day 58 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. Another 5-year consecutive day count. It is day 1437. And today we finished reading chapter 3 in the Holy GodSpell, which we picked it up on page 349 and we ended on page 355. So when we come back, we start chapter 4, which is entitled The Prophecy of Malachi Fulfilled by the Reincarnation of Elijah as John the Baptist, and an account of the martyrdom of Zechariah. That's going to be good. Oh, that ain't that long. It's only 91 verses, but that's we're going to get into it. The Joseph and Mary as Jews in the order of them. Okay. Look, in the order of the Immaculate Conception, I ain't gonna read ahead. I'm gonna wait for y'all. I'm gonna wait till we get there, but we're gonna get into some of this Sunday when we come back. So we'll probably get to see how the Christian story has been adjusted over the years. All right, y'all. Father, we thank you for preserving truth throughout the ages. I love y'all. I will see y'all back here Sunday at 7:30. On the weekends, it's 7:30, y'all. Yeah, 7:30. Yeah, 7:30 on the weekends. I had to think real quick. Love you too, Deshaun. All right, y'all. I see y'all. Enjoy y'all day. Enjoy y'all day tomorrow and be safe out there. Love y'all. Peace.
But I see through you.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold. I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, making moves.
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
What just happened?
For a moment, you entered the astral dimension.
What?
A place where the soul exists apart from the body.
Why are you doing this to me?
To show you just how much you don't know. Open your eyes.
Been dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
What's happening? This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, this is...
Dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
He looks all right to me. You think that this material universe is all there is?
I don't need gravity, I don't need
What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses? Existence, mind and matter meet. Thoughts shape reality.
I don't need gravity, I just need growth. I'm this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Some benevolent and life-giving, filled with malice and hunger. Dark places where powers older than time and waiting.
I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Who are you in this vast multiverse?
I don't need gravity, I just need gravity, I just need growth.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Teach me.
No.
It's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.